Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1970s.
They will dissect you, and they will kill you, in that order.
This is episode 147, recorded August 27th, 2021.
Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again. I am your host, Doc Rodden, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1970 and 1979. Each episode, my co-host Jeff Mohr and I will tackle another classic, or not so classic, film from this wondrous, groovy, gory, and influential decade. Joining me this week is my co-host, Jeff Mohr. Jeff, sir, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Ready to take a... Never mind. Yeah. I'm doing good.
Oh, stop the joke.
There's a fiber joke in there somewhere.
Oh, wow. That is classic Jeff. All right. Also joining us tonight is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, and cat lover. And of course, he's all around. Say it with me. Nice guy.
Nice guy.
How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing fine. School started up. We managed to get through a whole week of school for the first time in a year and a half, so looking good. One hopes.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll
yeah,
see.
Me too. We'll see.
All right. Also joining us tonight is Chad Hunt, comic artist and co-host of Decades of Horror, the Classic Era, and every other Decades Horror. Hey, you doing, damn dirty Chad?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't have to take a dump.
Wow, cool.
TMI.
I don't know where that came from, but
it came from Jeff. I feel like I have to take a. That's what I thought he was talking about.
Oh no! Wow,
man, will you guys keep up?
Train wreck, ladies and gentlemen, right here.
No. Somebody laughed. Somebody laughed. Somebody laughed.
He finishes my jokes.
Yeah, somebody laughed. Daphne, thank you for laughing.
Chad.
All right, what we're going to do tonight is we're reviewing Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Is it a horror film? Not sci-fi, but it's got apes, and they talk, and it's got
fleshy-headed mutants. I mean,
it does have fleshy-headed mutants.
It's the end of the world.
Yes, it's the Armageddon
and King Tut.
Oh,
Tut. Yeah. So we have to do it. We will do all the 70s ape films. I'm telling you right now at some point in time. But tonight we're going to be doing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to give when did we first see this film and what did we think of it, whether it was back in the 70s or back in the past week. You never know. And then we'll discuss it, and it's going to be fun. But let's dive into the card. And Jeff has taken over the cards, as you can see, and they look awesome. Thank you, Jeff, sir.
Ursus.
The bear, the ape bear. All right, Beneath the Planet of the Apes from 1970, directed by Ted Post, written by Paul Dehn and Mort Abrahams. The cast includes, but not limited to, James Franciscus, Kim Hunter, Maurice Evans, Linda Harrison, Paul Richards, James Gregory, Jeff Corey, Victor Bueno, Don Pedro Coffey, Thomas Gomez, Gregory Sierra, and you may boo or you may yay, I don't care which, Charlton Heston.
Yay.
And the release date was May 16th, 1970. Budget was $3 million. Others say 2.5. Others say more. 3 is what I saw, so 3 is what it is. Box office $19 million. Sounds like it made money.
Yeah, well, they made a bunch more, so I guess it
did. They didn't. Diminishing returns was defined in the 70s by the Planet of the Apes films. But if you're like me, a monster kid, you love them. All right, synopsis. Sole survivor in interplanetary rescue mission searches for the only survivor of the previous expedition. He discovers a planet ruled by apes in an underground city run by telepathic humans. Or maybe they're mutants.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I think do we have it? I don't think we do. Taglines. We do have taglines. Civilization's final battle between man and ape is about to begin. The bizarre world you met in Planet of the Apes was only the beginning. What lies beneath may be the end. An army of civilized apes, a fortress of radiating, crazed superhumans. Earth's final battle is about to begin beneath the atomic rubble of what was once the city of New York. That's the film. And they all they did was describe the film. That was awesome taglines. All right, let's get into this. I gotta know, guys, and you know what, Jeff? I'm going to start off with you, sir. When did you first see Beneath the Planet of the Apes? And are you an ape fan from the 70s films?
So, absolutely loved Planet of the Apes. Saw that in the theater. Went to this one in the theater. Never went to another one because of this one.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, my first impressions weren't good. And the thing that bothers me with a lot of stuff, this underground human society, it just didn't make sense to me. It just, and this whole thing with taking the masks off and showing their true beauty to their maker or something, I'm kind of like, you're living underground. Nobody else sees you. Why are you wearing these things? Just took me the wrong way.
Where did you make them?
Yeah,
they're for dating purposes only.
Yeah, that could be. Well, you'd think after a couple millennia that you'd get used to it. But
religions don't always make a lot of sense.
Yeah. No, well, that's true. That's true. So, other than that, it's okay. The other thing that bugged me, which I found out as we studied for this, was how much they cut the budget. And that's why, when the General Ursus is giving his speech there in the amphitheater, half the apes in the thing looked like they had pullover masks with glass eyes in them.
Yes, they did.
They got that stupid expression on their face. It's like, so noticeable.
So anyway, and then there's, so you know what? I'm done. My first impression, I don't know why. I didn't like it. I wanted to see more adventures of Taylor, which we got some of, but it was, I don't know.
Wow, cast a dark shadow on the future of the Apes movies, even though there's 3 more of them.
Well, and I did go and watch the other 3 because I thought, you know how they does. I'm watching on HBO Max, and when this got done, I think it just scrolled into Escape.
You just kept going,
and I thought, oh, what the hell, And then
6-hour marathon.
Yeah, well, that one I kind of liked. So,
do I really want to lift up my hand with the remote control?
Oh my gosh, that couch. All right, Bill Mulligan, sir. When did you first see Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and what was your first impression?
I didn't see it in the movie theater. I saw it on, I think it was late night TV. I feel like it was one of those, big premiere things. Maybe it just felt like late night.
Might have been in movie of the week.
It feels like it was, and they would make a big deal, it was movie of the week. We're showing an actual movie, not a TV movie, a real movie. And I watched it, and I really liked it. I really liked it a lot, and the ending just blew me away. Like, I just couldn't believe that was the ending, because it was such an ending. And I think by the time I saw it, they had already released Escape from the Planet of the Apes, or it was well on its way. So it was like first time I learned, just because they say this is the final chapter, that's just a bold-faced lie. But watching it now again, just the other day, seeing it again for the first time in probably a while, the parts that I really liked held up. I had forgotten just how long it takes to get beneath the Planet of the Apes, and up to that point, it feels like they're just telling the same story they told the first time with a different actor. Who's not Charlton Heston. Who
looks amazingly like Charlton Heston.
But doesn't have that charisma.
Right,
there's something, Charlton Heston, and especially this movie in Omega Man, he just had that, he pulled it off. He was an action star with a total dad body, and but it had that confidence, that movie star confidence, that swagger that pulls you through, that this guy's going to talk smack to a whole planet of apes. It just takes a long time to get through all that. We have to wait for him to discover, they're apes. They have a society. Here's Cornelius and Zira, and But then finally we get underneath, and the movie goes insane. This mutant stuff is crazy pants. Telepathic, scarred mutants that can you know, and they have a bomb and they worship the bomb and they sing hymns to the bomb and just like, wow, it just got so nutty. This was like a pulp comic book. I mean, at that time when I saw this, I was really into like Edgar Rice Burroughs and Doc Savage, and this was totally up my alley. I love the pulpiness of it. This is of all the Planet of the Apes movies, this is the one that just feels like it was plotted out by a 12-year-old kid. Now watching it, the cheapness of it really comes through. The masks, which didn't really bother me before, but they're painful now. The fact that we have this underground society of mutants, but at no point do we really get the feel that they have an actual society. It just seems like it's a bunch of extras that come together, as many as they could afford. How do they live? How do they eat? How does it work? I don't know, and none of it makes a whole lot of sense. There's a lot of cool ideas that don't get developed. So it's a flawed movie, but I still have a good deal of affection for it. I think the last half hour is as good as anything.
There you go.
Yeah. All
right, damn dirty Chad. When did you first see Beneath the Planet of the Apes? And are you an Apes fan? And
yeah, I am. I was a huge Planet of the Apes fan as a kid, and to this day, I love that movie. It's one of my top 10, easily. Sci-fi horror movie top 10 list. But I have no affection for this one at all. It's just I remember watching it, and it was I watched it tonight on the CBS Sunday night movie.
Yeah.
The damn dirty apes are back, and you know,
dirtier than ever.
Now dirtier, now with more dirt. And being, I was really into it at first. You know, I was like, oh wow, a rescue team's coming. James Franciscus, who I love, is in this, and I thought they were setting up sort of like a little mystery thing of what happened to Taylor, you know, and finding Taylor, and the apes are hot on their trail. It set up something really interesting. But even as a kid watching it, I could tell it was cheaper just from the masks, like you said, and that ape makeup wasn't there on it, and some of the faces were like frozen like they were frozen. It was ridiculous. It was terrible looking, but I was willing to go along with it if the story was good. As soon as they went underground, finally, after many leagues away from the ape camp, it just completely lost me. It just I don't really care about mutants living under the ground in New York City. I didn't as a kid watching it. I wanted to see more apes versus human stuff. Could have been interesting. I just didn't care for it, and the end really, like I said, as a kid and being such a big fan of the first film, I was like, what the hell happened? You know, are we spoiling this? We're spoiling this.
Oh,
right? Yeah. How many years old is this?
51.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But no, it can't be 50. But just I wanted to love it. I really wanted to love it. And there are parts about it that I do, which I guess we'll talk about as we go. But it was a cheap knockoff of the first one. You can tell that budget cut really hurt this film a lot.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to like it so much, but ended up not. And I think that initial shock of the underground mutants and that kind of thing really put a bad taste in my mouth, because even watching it now, I was like, why? So yeah, I'm on the fence about it. I love the first part of it until they went underground, and then it just completely lost me. It just didn't seem plausible. It seemed like a whole different movie to me.
Oh man, yeah. So I am a huge Planet of the Apes fan. I absolutely love these. I had the Topps bubblegum cards. I had a trash can that was Planet of the Apes. You know, remember those metal cans that you could have?
Yeah.
I had that. I had the Mego. I had the Planet of the Apes outfit, little, I don't know, it was a hut or something that they had. I had all the characters. I had the comics and the magazines that they made, because they made them as magazines and then you reprint them as comics.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. But
the black and white.
Yes,
Marvel did those. Yeah.
Right. And I remember reading, the adaptation of it, and I love how it plays out in the comics. I did not see this one in the theaters. Matter of fact, the only one I got to see in the theaters, unfortunately, is Battle. But I love them all. I love every single one of them. Now, I do love some more than others. Planet of the Apes and Escape are by far the far superior, and then Conquest has its merits, and then the Battle and this one are hanging on the
bringing
bottom.
In the rear,
bringing in the rears, and you can depending on which day it is, you could toss one up as being the worst, but it didn't matter. I loved it, and I saw it that same thing when it was the movie of the week, right?
Yeah.
And because in my household, that's what we did. We all got together and we watched these movies of the week.
Make some Jiffy Pop popcorn on the stove.
Oh my God, yeah. And I absolutely love this movie. It never occurred to me that we had the mask. I totally got past me. I mean, I can see it now, and it does look stupid as hell. But I love everything about this movie. I'm hopeless. I'm absolutely hopeless. I love all the Planet of the Apes movies. I in some ways I like James Francisco better because he's a little bit more action.
Yeah.
Hero kind of, and he doesn't have to, I don't know. I mean, Charlton Heston, of course, is iconic and Taylor in the first one. So but in this one, you can see that he's just kind of day playing it a little bit.
Oh yeah, he's phoning it in. I love Charlton Heston, but he's phoning this performance in. And
it's very strange when he appears and doesn't appear, and the back. There's some elements of this that are like, what the. But there's a scene where the apes encounter, the visions that the mutants can do, and they see the lawgiver real tall, and he starts to bleed in the eye.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that got me as a kid. That was
cool. Yeah.
I was like, holy crap. I thought that was, and then when it falls and Zeus is like, so this one is probably my least favorite overall for one reason and one reason only. Roddy McDowall is not playing.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why. He's directing his only film that he ever directed at this time, so he couldn't do it. And they didn't wait for him. And, they had the mask. It looked like him because they used the same prosthetic, so it didn't matter. And he's not a big part of the film either.
No.
So for that reason, I'm always, lukewarm to return to this one, because as much as Charlton Heston is seen as Taylor, it's Roddy McDowall as the apes, because even on TV, and I watched the stupid TV show too.
Me too.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You aren't kidding. I was religiously there. And they were terrible though. Have you ever
it's like they totally, how can you screw up the concept? It's like when they make a Tom and Jerry movie and they're friends. It's like, have you never seen a Tom and Jerry cartoon? It's Planet of the Apes. And it's basically, the humans can talk. They have their own thing, and there's apes, and it's basically The Fugitive with gorillas. It was terrible.
It was, but that didn't stop me from watching.
No, I watched every episode, every single one.
Every show back in the 70s was The Fugitive, with whatever's chasing the fugitive guy, the Incredible Hulk.
Exactly.
they were all that.
Yeah, and I watched so much. Watched way too much TV. I don't know how that happened. There's more TV now.
Doc, you point up something that really kind of hits home, is that back then, it was a big family event because we only had a few channels. there weren't a lot of choices. That whatever movie they played was the one that we all watched.
Yeah.
And we would get together and we'd watch it. And I know this is old man yells at cloud stuff, but it was kind of a cool bonding thing for families. You didn't, always know what you were getting. You kind of had to expand your horizons. Maybe my mom wasn't the world's biggest science fiction fan, but tonight was a movie about talking apes, so she watched it with the rest of us and all.
And back then, there was no HBO, there was no Cinemax, there was nothing. So when these movies came from the theater onto TV, it was a big deal.
It was,
and everybody did get. I mean, The Wizard of Oz was a once a year thing, and you planned your schedule around.
That's right.
When that was coming on.
Yeah, and for the longest time, we had one TV in the house.
Yeah,
and it wasn't showed like 10 times during the
right
day or a week or something, and there wasn't any VCR or any kind of recording device. So
right.
You had to pay attention.
To know what was on. Your Bible art was like the TV guide, and if there was a show you liked or a movie you liked, you had to be there. And then everybody scrambled during the
TV guide and marking your movies.
Do you remember the week? Did you guys get the ones in the newspaper? Like I was in Washington D.C. at the time, and they would come out with these, magazine-looking ones, newsprint ones, right? And you go through with the, like you said, the highlighter, and you highlight the shows you want to watch.
And the other thing is that there were only 3 stations, so there was a pretty good chance that your friends were watching the same thing you were, and the next day at school everybody would get together, and you didn't want to be that one kid who didn't watch Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
I'll hate to tell you the adventure that I had to go through and to be able to watch Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Oh my God.
Lord.
because I'd never get another chance to watch it until I was in my 40s.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yes, I did that too. Wow.
We got to do that movie someday.
Yeah, we could. Mm-hmm. We could.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
please, let's do it.
All right. Let's put it on the docket somewhere.
It's my
vote. Okay, so let's. While we're on it, I guess we should show like some posters and stuff, right? So let's look at the.
Sure.
The classic poster, I think, is the top. The bottom one, I think, was that actually a poster that was released, or is that somebody doing a mock-up?
I don't know, but I feel like it might be a real poster because it's given away an awful lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The first one's sort of ambiguous, and that's the one I remember the most. Is just that the circle with the 2 of them running. And I remember as a kid, I could not figure out what do they mean beneath the Planet of the Apes. It's like, what's underneath the planet? Just more space. I was just completely. It never occurred to me they meant digging into the ground until I saw the movie. So that all made sense.
Yeah, it is a strange title.
It is a weird title.
This one's neat.
That's also cool, and also gives away literally everything.
That's very much the ending. I love the ending of this film. It's literally one of the earliest 70 films, and it is
the 70s ending.
It defines the 70s ending. Where everything dies.
You could not get away with that now. I mean, the closest thing to something like that now would be The Mist. And
I love how instead of a huge mushroom cloud or some kind of reaction spreading over the whole world or whatever, we get Paul Frees.
Paul Frees, that's right.
But it was cool because then you just go boom to black.
Yeah.
If you're going to get somebody, get the best.
Is there a voice that better defines the 60s and 70s than Paul Frees? He was in every dang cartoon. Mm-hmm. He was, movies and Colossus, the Forward Project. I mean, that voice, as many different voices as he did, they all sounded like Paul Frees. Yeah. He's great. He was great. Fantastic.
So looking at the bomb on that thing, it's interesting to me to having watched these like all right in a row and connecting the foreshadowings and the things that happen. It's kind of neat that in the last one, the battle for the Planet of the Apes, it's all tarnished and scrudgy looking. They have it. It's like, what is it? 600 years after, 600 or 700 years later, and we haven't really defined things.
You think they would have cleaned up a little bit around there?
Well, they had another 1,300 years to clean it up before that one. So it's to me, it's kind of neat that was different. And then we also have the what does Zira say? Something about our baby won't have to drink such bile or something like that.
Mm.
And that foretells Escape from
Right.
Planet of the Apes, where she's already pregnant, even though, you know.
So I wonder, were they thinking about, they told Charlton Heston, oh yeah, this will be the last one, but they were thinking,
I don't know.
we're going to kill him off and then we'll figure out, because the one thing that really puzzled me about watching the movie, I felt like, did they clip a scene out of here? Because after Zira and Cornelius, they have their scene, and then we never go back to them at all. Like, and when the planet blows up, you're like, oh wow, so they blew. Oh, what about Zira and Cornelius? They weren't doing anything wrong. I mean,
well, they were hustling.
That's exactly.
Spaceship
like, wait till next
Milo
year.
made.
Wait till next year. You'll find out.
Right.
That's what I was thinking when I watched it. That not only if they wanted to keep the series going, they should have left James Franciscus alive, but Cornelius and Zira, I was like, what happened to them? But it felt like that was it.
Yeah.
That it felt like they were tying all the loose ends up, but it was just a weird ending. And at the time I saw it, I hated it because everybody got killed. But as I've come to watch horror movies, I love downbeat.
Yeah. Glorious.
So
glorious.
This comment's getting out of this movie, but I never knew that their son took on the name Caesar. I never made the connection with the new movies. So now I got to go watch those again.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are great too.
They are fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, I'm not a huge fan of the Tim Burton one, but later I do like. Let's look at Charlton Heston. As we said,
hey, how's your grandmother? Tell her hi when you see her next time.
Charlton Heston, of course, returns as Taylor. Although I don't know where he got his space outfit from.
I was going to say, I wonder where he got that wonderful suit from.
But whatever, it works.
The magical underground woolen mills.
I always thought it was fascinating that if you don't know by now that at the end, we already said it, everybody dies, but he basically does the deed, right? He just says,
it's the biggest middle finger in the history of cinema.
But do you all notice how his hand looks like an ape hand when he does it? Is that just me?
Oh, I didn't.
Because it's all, the way he hits it, but he doesn't actually, he hits it like
an ape would.
Not like knuckle kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. That struck me from day one when I first saw it. I always thought like, wow, okay. He basically, Anyway, and of course, along, it's not Zira. What is her?
Linda Hamilton.
Nova, yes.
I had a crush on Nova.
Oh, geez, I wonder why.
Born American.
A beautiful woman who doesn't talk.
I still have a crush on her.
Stop. Sorry. Here come the letters.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys like 1 million years BC, you like this, right?
Yeah.
James Franciscus is showing off his tennis.
Oh, look, yeah. See, I didn't like it as much as Charlton Heston because Charlton looks like he doesn't say no to the buffet table. I mean, He works out and he's strong and everything, but nothing that's going to make you feel bad about yourself. But looking at this, I want to go hit the gym and stop eating carbs.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he's fit. He looks. He makes for a good hero, I think. He didn't do a whole lot of genre work. He was known mostly as a lawyer or something.
He's played a lot of doctors and lawyers.
Right.
And stuff.
But he did do
one
very special sci-fi film, right, Chad?
Oh yeah, Valley of Gwangi.
Yeah. Is it Gwangi or Gwangi?
Gwangi, yeah.
Cowboys
versus Allosaurs. It's great.
That's right.
Yeah. He was in a series called, I think it was Mr. Novak. He was a teacher in the 60s.
Yeah, he looks like your typical teacher.
I don't think I knew who he was until this film, right? Because I didn't see Valley of Gwangi until much later.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
I feel like he was on TV a lot, He
was. He was a regular on the Naked City back in the late 50s. and then had spots on lots of different stuff. A couple of Alfred Hitchcock's.
I loved him in this. I feel like if they'd have went with anybody else, he had to stand up to Charlton Heston. I mean, he had to had to stand toe to toe with Charlton Heston. So he had to have some kind of physical presence there. And
Ooh, he's in Cat of Nine Tails. Might have to.
Oh, Dario Argento's. Okay.
Yeah, later on he started doing some more. Now you guys know I'm a fan of disaster films, and he was in some of the worst ones later on. He did Concord. No,
Pretty
Concord
bad.
Affair is something else. He did City on Fire. Do you guys remember that one?
yeah.
Killer
And
Fish.
when time runs out, do you remember that
Killer
one?
Fish.
And he
That was
did Killer Fish.
Majors, yeah.
I'm sorry.
And he's in The Last Shark.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
man. Sometimes you got to take a paycheck when it comes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a very infamous shark movie, right,
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's a shame.
Oh, my God, is it?
It's a shame they
Kind
didn't
of
do that
not
in the
good.
70s.
Yeah.
It's,
I always thought he would make a good Doc Savage. I like Ronnie. a little bit,
Yeah.
but
I
you're
could
right.
see that.
He
I
would.
could see that. Although he's
he's
I
a
mean,
little he's a little more slight than Doc
Right.
Savage would be.
I liked him. I liked him in this movie, but the problem is, it's so painful that they just didn't have any ideas other than let's just send another spaceship after the first one, and it'll crash. They're going to just keep sending spaceship after spaceship. Why do they even think that these guys were in trouble, that they needed rescuing? They just disappeared, and every ship they send out falls into this black hole that sends them to the exact same spot in the future.
Mhm.
Seems a little unlikely. Once, sure.
Well,
but
not on the
twice.
TV show. They go much earlier, but that's a different story. Where would the
Yeah.
next ones go if they couldn't land on Earth because it's
Yeah, where are we?
just,
Oh,
There's
you know
Venus,
what?
and then there's Mars.
He played a blind insurance investigator in Longstreet, which I
Oh,
think
yeah.
was one of those mystery movie rotations. I'm not
oh
sure.
wow,
I don't know if it was, but I remember there was an episode with Bruce Lee that was really good.
Yes.
oh wow.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Longstreet was cool. Longstreet was like,
Yeah, it was 48 minutes. So yeah. Daredevil. Yeah.
Let's go through some of the characters. Let's talk about Ursus, here, played by James Gregory.
I love this guy. I mean, look, I'd say that picture on the top looks like Ursus. I mean, you can see his expressions and his way of just sort of tilting his head and everything. I get that's just something he naturally did because of the pictures I see. He's always got that. It really comes through in the mask. And as cheap, unfortunately, as a lot of the makeup effects were, Ursus is iconic. Ursus is one of the best things about that uniform. Yeah. Why everyone doesn't cosplay as Ursus in Atlanta, I don't know. Except obviously you die of heat stroke.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go to Dragon Con as Ursus, and yeah. But it's such a great look. He's got a great fun character.
Oh,
and
man.
it looks like he's having fun doing it too.
Yeah, all the gorillas, the main gorillas, are always my favorites. Even in battle. We'll get there one day. But yeah, this one here, this is the one that I remember from the Mego too, right? Because it had the hat.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. But this guy, man, he's in everything in the 70s, right?
Yes,
every TV show.
Barney Miller.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Barney Miller. There's a couple of Barney Miller guys in here.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
One of the mutants was in Barney Miller, and he was on Sanford.
Oh yeah, he was.
And Sanford's son, yeah.
I bet they had a lot to talk about on set about how much they hated being in the makeup chair for 5 hours.
He's got a great voice, and he knows how to use his voice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we got to talk about Kim Hunter, even though we don't have a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess the bigger discussion will happen, I guess, when you do it on the classic era. But this is probably the series of films I know her from, or the first three, right?
Yeah.
But I would imagine other people know her from a lot of other stuff. Right?
Streetcar Named Desire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know.
She won an Oscar for that. She was Stella.
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 Well, we had her in classic era in one of the Val Lewton movies, The Seventh Victim,
Yeah.
which was her first role.
And she was great. Everyone, when Streetcar Named Desire, all they ever talk about is Marlon Brando and Vivian Leigh. But I thought Carl Malden and Kim Hunter were the best acting going on in that movie. They're fantastic, but it's easy to get overlooked when you have these superstars there. But I didn't realize she won the Academy Award for that. Good call on their part.
Yeah. Of course, her the Zira in Planet of the Apes is a much stronger role than here. She's a supporting character, even more so in this film. And then, of course, in the next one, Escape, she gets far more meat to her story.
Yes.
Some of my favorite stuff with her is in there. But, of course, I love the part where she, in Planet of the Apes, where she goes and kisses Taylor and goes, "I'll kiss you, but you're so damn ugly." And she just, the way she gives this character this innocence and confidence, but yet politically motivated.
Right.
She's
a real character, despite being completely covered in makeup that takes almost everything away from your ability to emote. And yet and when he's here, Roddy McDowall really pull it off.
Well, they were smart because they said, you got to use the eyes. You got to have the eyes, because that's where the emoting is going to be, and you had the mouth had to be able to open and express. So that when they made, if you ever watch the Planet of the Apes behind the scenes stuff, it's you can see how much thought they put into those makeups, the main makeups, and they translate here. The main ones translate. Of course, all the extras get pullover masks, but you got to do what you got to do. But I mean, even the actor that plays Cornelius this time around, looks like Roddy McDowall,
and he does a pretty good job of imitating McDowall's voice
and his body language too. Like when he's walking, the way.
Now, it would have helped the illusion. Yeah, that was pretty good. It would have helped the illusion if we didn't open the movie with Roddy McDowall narrating. Actually giving some narration there to remind us what his voice sounds like, and then this guy comes along doing an imitation. It's like, okay, why did you do that, movie? But I will say, I thought I'd forgotten about it. It was funny when Zaius comes and Cornelius is pretending that he had hit her, which is so un-Cornelius and a laughable lie, but Zaius seems to buy it and everything, and the two of them doing that, and it just occurred to, I mean, they're making a joke about spousal abuse, but not really. It's just, that's so unlike the two of them.
They're actually making a social commentary about it, because,
they are.
Right.
Because the leader expects that, and they're playing into it. If you don't, you could easily misinterpret it as, oh wow, this is so, wrong, but they're playing into the Dr. Zaius character and the politics of his the orangutans, what they expect. I love that, and the way he, even at the end, it's like, well, if she goes out of line, I'll hit her again. Oh no, you don't have to do that. I guess we should talk about Maurice Evans, right?
Yeah, I don't have a picture of him either. He's in. Well, it's just these two, right? These are the only two that he was in.
Yeah, he blew up.
Yeah, got blown up real good.
Actually, didn't he get shot too, or did he just blow up?
He just blew up.
He's the only one that didn't get shot, right? Because
it's interesting how Dr. Zaius is the one that's become kind of iconic. I know there's a lot of good stuff that they've done with the Zaius character, Simpsons, and there's a podcast where I guess a guy dresses up as Dr. Zaius.
I've seen many of Zaius out there, like you were talking about at Dragon Con and other conventions. There's usually a Zaius walking around.
Yeah.
It's the easiest one to kind of do.
Yeah.
But it looks so great, right?
I kind of missed that from the first one, the idea, which was an interesting idea, of how the ape society is, stratified and has these caste systems with the orangutans as the the scientists, the chimpanzees as the artists, intellectuals, and the gorillas as the muscle. And the interplay between all of them. You had the feeling the orangutans were in charge, but it looks like there's been a bit of a coup.
In this one.
And nobody gives a rat's ass what the chimpanzees think.
Yeah. And what does Zayas? Zayas is always hiding his face.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no. But that speech that James Gregory as Ursus gives at the beginning. No.
Well, he's another Batman connection, Chad.
Uh-oh. You want to do the Batman connections? Just
No.
Do it, Jeff.
Well, he already mentioned King Tut, right?
Right.
Yeah, we haven't talked
Victor
about Victor
Buono.
Bueno too much, but we got to. He was King Tut. 10 episodes? He was in 10 episodes?
Yeah, he was in a lot.
I didn't. Wow.
Is that the most for any of the villains? No, probably Cesar Romero was in.
Yeah, Cesar Romero had to be. Who knows?
10 seems like a lot of episodes, though.
It does.
So I don't. Maurice Evans was the puzzler in 2 episodes.
The puzzler. How puzzling?
Yeah.
Sort of
not the most one of the more popular villains.
No.
Yeah.
And Nova was actually in a few episodes.
Oh,
she was cheerleader number 2.
Yeah, and Miss Gotham City, and so.
Well, I wish she'd done more because she was cute as a bug.
Yeah.
There's a great. I don't know what else you got, but this has a great list of character actors in these roles.
Oh yeah, let's go through them.
Well, Paul Richards, the guy that plays Mendez, is recognizable anyway. Victor Buono, James Gregory, Jeff Corey is a favorite of mine, who plays the bespectacled mutant.
Don Pedro Coley, Gregory Sierra. This is his first role. It's Barney Miller.
Yeah, it was Barney Miller, and he played Julio on Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's the singing I guess he's not singing, he's chanting right at the beginning.
Right.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the first one you see.
He was hilarious on those shows too.
Oh my god. Yes.
Yeah, it's his first movie role. He was in some TV and stuff before this, but yeah.
Right.
Now the director came from TV, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about him, shouldn't we?
Tons of stuff.
Ted Post. And well, you could see that he was. He was hired. Didn't the original director left when the budget was cut, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then he took over, and they hired him because he could deliver
on time.
The budget.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, there's not a lot of real fancy directorial flourishes here, and that's not what they hired him to do. I think he did an okay job. It's certainly no fun when you have a big idea and no budget to do it with, and that's true. You just imagine, what if all the 8 movies from Beneath all the way to Battle had the same kind of budget that the first one did? Because it gets pretty dire. By the time you get to Battle, it feels like TV movie time.
Yeah.
Well, and when he did, that's what he did. I mean, holy crap. You go back to the late 50s, early 60s, he did 55 episodes of Gunsmoke.
Wow.
Over a 7-year period, 24 episodes of Rawhide.
We did Magnum Force too. Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Magnum Force.
Yeah.
Dirty Howie. He went from Dirty Apes to Dirty Harry.
Dirty Apes to Dirty Harry.
Couple episodes of Columbo. 4 episodes of The Twilight Zone, the original. So.
Oh, he also did Hang 'em High.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Oh, that's interesting.
He did, Twilight Zone, Combat, Rawhide, like you said, Wagon Train. Wow, Wagon Train. Now, the budget being cut wasn't because they didn't believe in the franchise. It was because Warner Brothers, right? Warner Brothers was getting ready. No, 20th Century Fox.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Fox.
20th Century Fox was getting ready to go bankrupt because of other films failing so bad in the late 60s.
Like
Hello, Dolly, Star, Tora. All of them tanked. I didn't know that. Hello,
I
Dolly.
didn't either. I would have thought those were all big hits. Yeah.
Nah, musicals are on their way out. And Tora, Americans are not necessarily really big on movies where we get our butts kicked.
I
mean,
no,
you know,
that's funny.
It's kind of a fun movie, but hard to, yeah. So, but don't take it out on I mean, this was as certain a sure deal as you would get. That you were going to make money on this. But you know what? Back then, 1970s, trying to think of sequels were not held in high esteem.
There weren't many of them at that point.
There weren't very many. And I think they were kind of. I think already this movie had a strike against it because I'm sure it just blew their minds that a movie called Planet of the Apes made money.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're making a sequel. They probably felt a little like this was beneath them, as opposed to Hello Dolly, which is a Broadway hit.
It probably bode poorly for the later movies when they found out they could cut the budget in half and still make money.
Yeah.
Right. They learned the wrong lesson. Yeah.
Unfortunately. But yeah, 70s we've got sequels.
Ted Post also did.
Right?
I'm sorry. Ted Post also did Baby. Did you mention that?
Baby?
I did not.
It's a weird 70s horror film with.
Is that also Victor Buono or no? I'm trying to remember who was in that.
In The Baby.
Is that the one with the guy dressed like a baby and slept in the big?
I feel like it is.
Yes.
But
yes,
it wasn't. If it wasn't Victor Buono, it was someone.
Yeah, it wasn't Victor Buono.
No, it's not.
I can't remember who it was now.
Yeah.
We might have to do that one at some point.
I'm not picking it.
That's creepy.
I never said it was good. I just threw it up as a.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Um.
Well, we're mentioning mutants, so let's talk about.
Oh, you know who's in that? Michael Pataki.
Oh,
and in The Baby.
Brave of the Vampire. Yeah.
So anyway, all right.
I like this woman on top. She's cute, and then she takes off her skin, and she's still kind of cute, but in a more disturbing way.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
She was
a mutant.
Married to the producer, I believe. Is that right?
That's a total coincidence. She earned this role, but she was good in it. I love the makeup on the mutants. In fact, I'll tell you something. When I was a kid, when I saw this movie, one of the effects it had on me is I was determined to reproduce this makeup.
Really?
Yeah. So I had to go out and find some liquid latex, which was not easy to scarf up at the time, and I failed utterly. I almost lost my hair, which would have helped the effect considerably, but it got me going. I tried to make a mutant mask, and it ended up looking more like Dr. Five, so I just kept right on going and turned it into Dr. Fives.
Well, there you go. That works.
Said that's what I meant to do all along, which was a bald-faced lie. Hey, stop.
And of course, they have the Doomsday Bomb, the Alpha and the Omega.
Hey, you too. Stop.
Which, we were afraid of the bomb still then, but now it just looks kind of puny.
The gorillas weren't.
Gorillas have no glue. Yeah,
the gorillas are like, beat on it with a hammer and see what happens.
It's starting to smoke. Hit it some more. Like, wow. Let's just randomly hit some buttons. How dumb were these? I mean, they had guns. They understood the whole concept of weaponry. This is clearly a weapon.
They didn't have, it is an interesting world because they had guns. They didn't have communication devices that's one of the things that bothered me watching these all the way through is because there's no kind of reference or connection to any other place than this one. There's like Ape City. That's it. That's the only place.
Well,
I don't know.
Who needs communication devices when you're trying to escape and there's an ape hiding behind every tree?
I know.
with a net waiting to throw it on.
Yeah.
I mean, these apes are everywhere.
They are
like a whole city of them.
I mean, even out of the city, you see them ride by on horseback, and there's an ape going, "What was that?"
You ever notice in these movies when a net gets thrown on you, and these nets are just basically blankets with a lot of holes in them? You're totally immobilized. Like you do everything you can to get yourself completely hooked up.
Like a spider web.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you could just like grab it at the bottom and throw it off. But nope.
No.
Well, we'll have to do some test footage with you, Bill.
There you go.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm a big enough man to admit
I don't know.
when
I
I'm
don't
wrong,
know.
especially if I'm hanging from a tree.
They continue to be effective through all the movies, if I remember right, except for maybe Escape. There's not really any other apes
There's no
in
nets.
Escape.
No,
I remember the TV show had oodles of nets.
Yeah.
There were nets
you
everywhere.
got a net with the little the Migo house. Gave you a
Yeah,
net.
you sure did.
Yep.
Who knew that would be the ape's weapon of choice?
I know, dude.
Yeah, it seems a poor choice, but okay.
Net them. All we got are guns and nets.
Guns and nets. It's like
Save ammo. Just net them.
Well, she's the only what? She was in 4 of these.
wow.
Who?
This Natalie Trundy, the
Oh yeah.
albina. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's the only
Paige,
person that
producer's wife.
played all 3 of the. She played a human, a mutant, and an ape.
Oh wow. Okay.
Ah, okay. If she does the convention circuit, she's going to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff's going to tell us whether
If she's
can or
still
not.
with us.
No.
just got bad news.
I hope she's still with us.
Ernest
I'm
Borgnine.
doing my best to throw you off the rails here, Doc.
There
Sorry.
you go. Ernest Borgnine was considered for General Ursus. Can you imagine that?
Yes, I can. And
Would have been good.
So
Oh,
was
no, it would have been great.
so was
Well, you know, Orson Welles.
Orson Welles. Yeah.
Orson Welles? I don't know.
No, there's no horse that could carry Orson Welles dressed up as.
Was he
General
for
Ursus.
Ursus or was he for like Zaius or somebody?
No, it's for Ursus, I believe.
Oh, that's just crazy.
That's,
Yeah.
that's crazy talk.
Well, I mean,
Ah,
his
the
voice. I want him to do like his frozen peas commercial, dressed up as an ape.
All right. Hey, what do you want me? What do you want me to do with this butter? No. Wrong movie. Wrong movie.
What are you thinking of? I think you're thinking of Marlon Brando.
I am thinking
Yeah,
of
he's
Marlon
thinking of Brando. Last Tango in Paris.
Wouldn't that be
Oh
amazing?
my god! Oh my god! The thought of Orson Welles doing the Marlon Brando character. Give me eye bleach right now.
Oh wow, I did. I
need brain bleach.
I totally blended those two people together.
Would have crushed that poor girl.
Oh my god! Stop. Oh man.
You
Well, we
started.
can
I would say that's one of the most amazing goofs I've ever done. That is amazing.
I can throw something out about that this makeup was originally designed by John Chambers. I don't know if he was. It just
Yes.
says designer under this movie, so I don't know if he was.
I don't know if he
actively
was. Yeah.
involved in
But yeah, I mean, and a genius. I mean, brilliant makeup. And he is rumored. I don't know that I believe this, and he denied it to his dying day, but he was rumored to be the guy who designed the Bigfoot costume in the famous
That's
Patterson
right.
Bigfoot film. But he denied it. 100. And you know, that one of the arguments that people make is that it can't be a costume because it's too good, and the only person who could have pulled it off at the time would be someone like
Mhm.
John Chambers, and he denied
Well,
it.
isn't he a character or have something to do with anyway the basis to the movie Argo?
That was Jack.
That was Jack Kirby.
No, that was. I thought Chambers was doing makeup for the CIA at some point.
Oh,
I have to
I'm
look
pretty
into
sure.
that.
Let me look.
You may be right. You know what? The timing's about right for that. So maybe he was just a guy who kept a good secret.
Maybe he was trained to keep secrets.
Mm.
Right.
Oh, he did Cat Blue's nose and or the Lee Marvin's nose in Cat Blue, which I don't know how hard that would have been, but anyway.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I guess let's go ahead and wrap things up for this. Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Give our final thoughts, our recommendation, and anything special that comes to mind about this particular film. And let's go in reverse order. Chad, you go first. Oh, you're mute, sir. Unmute yourself.
hi, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, sir.
Okay. Beneath the Planet of the Apes should have stayed beneath the Planet of the Apes.
No.
Thank you, Gene Shalit.
No.
What did I think of Planet of the Apes?
Oh,
I like half of this movie. I'll say I like that. It just got too weird for me with the if and I hated the fact that Heston went out like that. Charlton Heston and the other characters went out like that after all they went through in the first film. They get taken out by an atomic bomb or they're shot. I didn't. Yeah.
it's ironic.
It's not my favorite one of the series. I'll put it that way. There's more memorable ones that I remember seeing that I like better, but none better than the first. But I like the fact that it continued Taylor's story. It just didn't end the way that I thought it was going to end with the mutants and all that. So, but it is one you should watch if you're a fan of the Apes movies. I mean, yeah, you definitely should watch this and the other movies as well in it. But I'm not going to say it's a terrible, horrible movie because there's worse movies. But the potential that it had to be better was there, and I don't know if that had anything to do with the budget or not. But
It should have been better.
But it should have been. It should have been a lot better than it was.
I should have waited for Roddy.
Yeah.
Any particular memories of the film you want to share?
I remember being so excited to see it.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think I took a bathroom break because I was afraid I would miss what would happen next.
Man. Yes.
You know, and that kind of thing. So yeah, I had that excitement, that kid excitement when I first watched it. Being such a big fan of the first film, I couldn't wait.
Were you like me, one of the kids that sat on the rug in the middle of the floor?
Yes, sir. With a big pillow. Yeah, I either laid my head on a pillow or we had a gigantic Doberman pincer that we used to use as a pillow. And
we had a beanbag later on, so it became popular. But yeah, and a lot of times that would be it. Yeah, love story. Halfway through, I'm asleep. All right, Bill Mulligan, sir, wrap up your thoughts. Give us some
well, I'm thinking, listen, if you're going to get taken out by an atomic bomb that takes out the entire world is better than how I'm going to go out, which is one slice too many of cheesecake. So, he got that. I thought that was a pretty good ending for a hero. He took out everybody. But I'm kind of like Chad. I love half this movie. The weird thing is I love the half he doesn't love. So
I love it.
This movie does kind of divide people here, and I guess the first half it's too much of a retread, and it gives me too much time to think, which is a mistake in movies like this because it's like, okay, we got to get to the scene where he finally figures out that he's on Earth, and as soon as he hears gorillas talking English, that should have given it away. Because I don't know what life on other planets looks like, but I know one thing for certain: they don't speak English. So there's your giveaway right there. But okay, suspension of disbelief. Nobody likes a smart aleck. But once we get underneath and we're off to the races, we've got gorillas and mutants. And, oh my. I had a good time. Every one of the Apes movies has something to recommend it, with the possible exception of Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which by that point the budget was just cut so much that they weren't able to do what they really wanted to do, which is tell a big wrap-up story that would do justice to the ending. And unfortunately, they just didn't have the resources for it. Mm-hmm. So, like I said before, I like the pulpiness of this one, but I can understand that this is not probably very many people's favorite Planet of the Apes movie, but it's one of my favorites.
In Battle, we got the Lawgiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Doing the intro and the outro. And who is it?
John Huston.
John Huston,
That deep, gravelly voice.
Right.
All right, Jeff Mohr, sir. What about you? Your final thoughts and memories and all that good, happy.
Well, watching it now, it isn't like I sat there going, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're making me watch this." But I guess,
oh my God,
at least the one thing I can say is I anxiously went to this one and I didn't go to the other three. Now that could have just been me, I was I think I was like 16 when I saw this, and probably a smart ass, even more so than I am now. Just a quick comment, because I looked this up. So John Chambers was awarded by U.S. intelligence for his participation in the Argo operation, and his character was played by John Goodman in the movie.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So anyway, and he did Spock's ears. He was the one that finally got Spock's ears to work on Star Trek. So anyway, great guy, and he's the guy that created this makeup and made this all work.
Yes, he did. It arguably holds up remarkably well to this day, even better than CGI.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, CGI has its it expands on the whole thing, but I don't know. There's something about it being
real,
physical, and
tactile.
Yeah. It just
Right.
though you don't get all the emotion out of it, you get enough that it just feels, I don't know, more authentic. Yeah. It's really
for the time it was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And as great as the new series is, and they really are great, you can't make a movie like that for $3 million or whatever the equivalent of $3 million in 2020 dollars is. It's impossible. You to make good CGI as good as the recent Planet of the Apes movie, you got to spend a lot of money.
Yeah. I'd love those 3 movies.
They're great. They're fantastic.
And the motion capture, and I mean, there's real heart and emotion to it.
Yeah.
They're much more cinematic works of art than comparatively. But anyway, I as I said, I'm an Apes fan. I love all of them to different degrees. I was incredibly excited to watch this when it came out, and it didn't disappoint me then. Over time, you start seeing more and more of what you missed as a young, impressionable kid. But at the same time, these films just have a special place for me, in my youth. Chad, you're one of the few people probably that know that I used to be an artist or want to be an artist, right? And
used to be
me,
yeah,
not you,
yeah. No, you're a good artist.
No, I'm a piece of shit. But anyway, in high school, in grade school, I would draw Planet of the Apes characters and give them out. People would want them. And and then later on, I would do like Quint and Jaws and stuff. But it was So I mean, I loved Planet. I had it down to where I could just sit there and draw, the round face and everything, and even the lines. I loved it. I was a huge fan. I wish I still had all those Migos from back then.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, I dig this. It's not the best one, but I love every crappy minute of it. I can watch it over and over again. I actually love to once a year just sit down and watch all 5 of these films.
That's cool.
Really love them. I've got the Blu-rays. I don't have the 4K. I don't know if they have 4K, but I don't have them. I've got Blu-rays. I've got the the VHS is sitting around there somewhere, but and I even love Battle. The reason why I love Battle is because that's the one I got to see in the theaters. I could have seen Conquest, but for some reason I didn't make it. I either wasn't allowed or didn't get to go.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. Battle's not bad, except it's just kind of rinky-dink for
it's TV
for a battle for a planet.
Right.
But
you got to appreciate it. In a sense, the Planet of the Apes movies was kind of prepping us for what the Marvel Cinematic Universe did later. These movies were very much tied together. Each one followed the one before it. Maybe not always perfectly logically, but they were supposed to.
They did so better than James Bond movies, right?
Which might as well just be standalone. Very rarely in a James Bond movie did they ever reference a previous movie.
Except for the Jaws characters with the middle teeth.
Yeah, and occasionally they mention he was married to Diana Rigg, but if I were married to Diana Rigg, I wouldn't forget that either.
Yeah, you got the supporting cast.
Yeah.
M and Q. But anyway, so real quick before we end this and go into our thing, other than James Bond movies, what other films had like sequels
multiple sequels, not just one.
I mean, Universal Monsters, we know, right?
They did,
and
but
the Hammer films. But what else?
Yeah, they were pretty loose tied. Yeah, they have the Hammer films.
There's a lot of detective series that are multiple movies, but they're not really connected.
Right,
You know,
and, or like
Falcon and the,
Andy Hardy, same. It's the same cast of characters.
You had the serials, you had the serials.
Right, the Bowery Boys. But again, each movie is a standalone and doesn't really. You didn't have to see the Planet of the Apes movies. You had to see the previous movies to make a whole lot of sense to fully appreciate the next chapter. You didn't have to see them, but it certainly would not be the same effect. Just like with the Marvel movies, it helps when you watch, the latest Captain America to have also watched an earlier one, or even Thor or something. They're all tied together, and now that's the way we make movies these days. Everyone's looking for that big universe.
Yep.
And Planet of the Apes was one of the first ones to do it, and they did a pretty good job, I thought.
And so did, of course, Universal Monsters did it before that. But love it. All right, there you go. Please leave us some comments down below about Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Let us know what you think of it. Does it deserve more respect? Does it deserve more people watching it in clearer eyes? I don't know. Let us know. We'd also love to have you hit the subscribe button or share with a friend. That would help us out amazingly. Hit the bell so we can be reminded. And, of course, I said about the comments. But we have some feedback, Jeff, yes?
Yes, we do. We have one piece of feedback on episode 144, The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane. And this is from Joan Sherwood. And I believe, I'm not sure where it was, if it was on YouTube channel or not. Oh, my gosh, this film, I loved it. The only film...
That's all you need.
Yeah. The only film I can recall with a bigger creeper factor was Sweet Hostage with Linda Blair and Martin Sheen. Just so wrong. Why was Sheen getting all these child predator roles? We'll definitely check out this episode.
Yeah,
she hadn't even listened to the episode yet, but she just was.
Okay, as far as I know, Martin Sheen, good guy. Don't get us wrong.
Yes.
But like some actors who are genuinely good guys, he knows how to play a real bad guy, and maybe he's able to kind of portray that. Here's his good exterior, but he's able to show something evil lurking underneath.
But I'll point out two things. This movie, Sweet Hostage, is actually about he kidnaps like a 16-year-old girl or something, and he's older. And then while he has her kidnapped and everybody's looking for her, they start to like fall in love. Seriously, that's the story, and she wants to stay with him.
There's the syndrome.
Yikes.
What's the syndrome for that? There's
Stockholm
Stockholm syndrome. Yeah.
But then add to that the fact that they claimed that he wanted the kids part in Little Girl That Lived Down the Lane, that had the relationship with Jodie Foster.
Yeah, that was
even
weird.
though he was like 35. So that's odd that these were both made like literally like the same time. They were maybe a year apart. But
isn't Badlands kind of like that too? With again Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek?
Yeah, but
that's based on that true that crime spree that the
was it? Yeah.
But Jesus.
So anyway,
I was just thinking.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even want to watch that one, Joan. Thanks for the comment, but I looked that up and I found it someplace and I started watching it and I went, oh no, I'm not watching this. It is so wrong. Especially,
Wow.
Yeah. But thanks for that. So you disturbed the Grue Crew. How do you do that?
Thanks, Joan.
Well, let us know what you thought about the episode, Joan, if you want to listen to it, watch it.
All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Bill, Jeff, Damn Dirty Chad, thank you so much for joining me. This was
You're welcome.
Have we decided on our next one?
We need to share what the next one is. Jeff, you made the decision.
I did. So it will be Blood on Satan's Claw.
Blood on
from
Satan's
1971, which has popped on and off our list many times over.
It has.
Classic
Wow.
folk horror.
So,
Yeah.
time
I'm
to-
sorry. Did
Yes,
you say
folklore,
blood on
actually.
Santa's claw?
Santa's
Santa's,
claw.
yeah.
Santa's
Yeah.
slaw. oh, it's late. Let's say goodnight.
The blood in Santa's slaw.
Hey. Good night.
Good night, folks.
New idea, Bill. New idea.
Ah.